Most people look at Uruguay and see a small, quiet country between Argentina and Brazil. But for land buyers, Uruguay may be something much more important, one of the cleanest freehold land rights stories in South America. That does not mean Uruguay is perfect. It does not mean every parcel is a good deal. It does not mean buying land automatically gives you residency or citizenship. And it definitely does not mean you can skip due diligence. But Uruguay deserves attention because it has something many land buyers want: legal confidence. For foreign buyers, Uruguay is unusually straightforward compared with many emerging market land destinations. Foreigners can generally buy property without needing to become residents first. They can generally own property under the same basic framework as locals. They can buy rural land, homes, apartments, and coastal property, subject to normal legal checks and transaction requirements. That is powerful, because when you're buying land in another country, the first question is not the view. It is not the price. It is not the dream. The first question is, can I actually own this clearly? Can I sell it? Can I transfer it? Can I rent it? Can I defend the title? Can I understand the legal system around it? In Uruguay, the answer is often cleaner than in many other countries. That is the main attraction. Uruguay is not the cheapest land play in South America. Paraguay may look cheaper. Parts of Argentina may look cheaper. Brazil may offer more scale. But Uruguay offers a different value proposition: stability, institutional quality, rule of law, a relatively calm political culture, agricultural abundance, Atlantic coastline, a high-quality lifestyle, and a serious Plan B reputation. That matters for base too, because land is not just dirt. Land is dirt plus jurisdiction. The same parcel in the wrong legal environment can become a trap. The same parcel in a better legal environment can become a base. So, Uruguay's appeal is not only the land, it is the legal wrapper around the land. But there are trade-offs. First, Uruguay is not cheap in the way people imagine when they think of South America. Good coastal land can be expensive. Good farmland can be expensive. Desirable lifestyle zones can be expensive. Labor costs can be higher than in lower-cost countries. Compliance matters. Taxes matter. Carrying costs matter. And the best opportunities may not be obvious bargains. Second, residency and citizenship are often misunderstood. Buying land in Uruguay can support a broader life plan, but property purchase alone is not the same as instant citizenship. Residency generally requires showing a real connection to the country, income or means of support, documentation, and ongoing presence. Citizenship is even more presence-based. The deeper idea is habitual residence and integration, not just buying an asset. So if someone says, buy land and get a passport quickly, be careful. That is not how serious planning works. The land may help anchor a life. It may support residency logic. It may be part of a long-term relocation or Plan B strategy, but it should not be treated as a magic passport machine. Third, due diligence still matters. You need to verify title, boundaries, access, water, soil, zoning, environmental restrictions, agricultural use, building permissions, road quality, utilities, neighbors, local market demand, and whether the property actually fits the intended use. A beautiful property can fail if it has no practical activation path. A cheap property can be expensive if it requires too much infrastructure. A rural property can look peaceful but become difficult if access, labor, or water are weak. That's why the base 2 lens is not simply, can foreigners buy land here? The better question is, can useful land be owned, activated, protected, and held across multiple futures? For Uruguay, the answer may be yes for the right buyer. Uruguay is strongest for people who value stability over maximum arbitrage. It may be attractive for families, long-term investors, retreat estates, agricultural lifestyle projects, coastal living, and people who want South America exposure without embracing the highest-risk frontier markets. It is weaker for people who only want the cheapest land possible. It is weaker for people expecting instant residency or citizenship. It is weaker for buyers who want massive returns without local work, legal advice, or operational discipline. Uruguay is not the fantasy of free land and easy passports. It is the more serious thesis. Pay more for clarity. Pay more for rule of law. Pay more for a country where the land can plausibly become a long-term base, not just a speculative bet. For base 2, Uruguay may be the clean sovereignty play. Not the cheapest, not the fastest, not the most explosive, but maybe one of the most institutionally credible. And that matters. Because land can't move. Once you buy it, it sits inside one country, one legal system, one tax system, one climate, one local economy, and one political culture. That's why country selection matters as much as parcel selection. Uruguay may not be the cheapest land play, but for the right buyer, that may be the point. Sometimes the premium is not for the land itself, but for the legal certainty around it.